We're back here on Sounding Out with Jaswiry,
Hey guys.
who's joining us from New Jersey and grew up in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And is a wonderful independent artist who's just recently this year released her first EP.
Ojo y pelo negro, a nadie yo le debo. Llevo en mi pecho orgullo como un sello. Tu camisa blanca lo sentí como pasión. Pasé por tu calle y te dejé con la ilusión. Tu nombre en mi cabeza, te tengo en protección. Yo te tengo en protección. Ojo y pelo negro, a nadie yo le debo. Llevo en mi pecho orgullo como un sello. Ojo y pelo negro, a nadie yo le debo. Llevo en mi pecho orgullo como un sello.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that EP, what it is?
Yeah, it's my first project. It came out June 18th. And it was a long time coming. I've been putting out music for like 5 years, and for the past 3 years, I've been working on this project, like a lot of like trial and error. I went to DR 1 year in it was like my freshman year of college or something, and I had a really big foundation in R&B. That's what most of the music I was making was kind of rooted in. But when I went to DR that trip, I found this very cool alternative scene of just electronic Latin music and Latin jazz and just a big fusion of a bunch of different things. And I kind of honed into that for the last 3 years, and that's kind of what this project is. It's just kind of a big fusion of all these different genres that I love, and yeah.
Is that different than what you've been doing before?
I would say not really in hindsight, just because the first song I put out was kind of a Latin jazz kind of song, and then the one after was kind of experimental R&B, and then the one after was kind of I had always kind of been kind of playing with genres, but this was in a more cohesive way. I would feel it was more intentional, and yeah.
Do you think you found your voice?
Yeah, I feel for sure, because I was in college. I went to NYU, and I started recording music, and a lot of our classes were, aside from the production and music aspect, it was a lot of branding and marketing and culturally music in a more cultural lens, classes in that. And I feel throughout the years it put a lot of context to what I was doing and made things more intentional.
So you're growing up, you're going to school. At what point were you I have to write music?
It's always so hard when people ask me that, because I was just always saying I never had any other personality trait. I was on The Voice when I was 10, because my dad saw a TV ad and was let's just go. My parents know nothing about music. We're very nobody in my family does music, so it was a very for fun situation. But then it ended up working out, and from then on I was kind of all right, this is what I want to do. I also sang at church before then, so it was always kind of a personality trait. So I couldn't tell you actually this is when or this is what led to it. It kind of was always in my life. But I would say I started writing music in high school, freshman year of high school. I think you just have more to say the more you get older, and it just kind of naturally happened, and that's when I was okay, I had to start writing music eventually, and
Tu camisa blanca lo sentí como pasión. Pasé por tu calle y te dejé con la ilusión. Tu nombre en mi cabeza, te tengo en protección. Yo te tengo en protección. Tu camisa blanca lo sentí como pasión. Pasé por tu calle y te dejé con la ilusión. Tu nombre en mi cabeza, te tengo en protección. Yo te tengo en protección.
I feel a lot of artists and some people that I talk to, some of the writing development kind of starts out as poems, or they don't know if it's going to go to music yet. Was there something that made you just feel this is a song? The melody's already in your head?
Yeah. Well, I was in a songwriting. I went to LaGuardia for high school. Mm-hmm. It's a performing arts high school in Manhattan. And one of the electives was like a songwriting elective where you had to like audition to get in, and then like you would do 2 shows a year, but you also had to like audition for the show. So you had to like audition for the class and then for the show while you're in the class. It was very competitive, and like the teacher like went to Juilliard. Like it was very like that type of environment. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of like the first like environment that I was in where I was like kind of forced to make music in that way. And it also like just lined up when I also started writing music just like by myself. So I feel like that informed it a lot too, because it was like not competitive, but like you're just like constantly thinking about why you're doing things and not like in a very natural way. So I feel like being in an environment like that's kind of what informed my songwriting at the time, and less like instinctual. Like I didn't really write many poems. I was always surrounded by musicians, so everything was very like improvised and very like on the spot as well.
And do you also feel like your culture inspires you a lot? Because I know, like writing in 2 different languages too, I feel like, you know, I don't know if you go about it like intentionally or it's kind of subconscious where, like you can kind of flow in and out.
Yeah, it is very subconscious. I feel like some things just sound better in Spanish and some things make more sense in English. And like, I think that's kind of where I come at it with. It's like also natural because like when I'm at school, I speak English, but when I'm at home, it's Spanish. So it's kind of like, it is very instinctual in that way. But yeah, like growing up, I listened to, I think a lot of like Latin culture, especially Dominican culture, is like rooted in like you are with your family in the living room and like we're listening to music.
What was that experience like? Like being in a home and knowing that you were going to do this, having a family, from putting you on The Voice to getting you into high school, which is focused on the performing arts.
Yeah, I feel like I have like a very opposite like immigrant family, like stereotypical like experience. I feel like a lot of like I was really lucky to have parents that like really supported what I did, and like we are a very like humble family, humble like everything. So like they could have easily like pushed me into a more like academic or like quote unquote stable like career, but they've always been really supportive. I don't know, like I feel like yeah, like I really could not tell you why they're, because I'm like, if I was them, I'd probably be like, wait. But I don't know, they're so supportive, and like that also, I feel like shows in like the music I make. I feel like it's very, I'm not like adhering to one thing, because like I just never felt like I had to. I was always pushed to like do whatever, and I always felt safe in that. So that was kind of the environment. Like, yeah, my parents came here like way older too, to the United States, like, you know, late 20s, and then had me right away. So we kind of like learned all together. But I'm glad I was like in that type of environment, because I feel like it really informs the music I make now. You went to university for more of the, I would say, the business side of music, not so much the writing and the performing, but I guess you said recording and editing. it was a bit of everything. So we had to take classes in everything. We had to take like production and marketing, performance, entrepreneurship.
Well, do you think that you found your like brand, your voice?
I think yes, and I'm also like still learning. Like I feel like I have so much to learn, and like there's like so much more that like I'm excited to do and like make. So I would say like the core of it, yes. I would say like I pretty much have found it, but I feel like there's still so much more, and like I'm really excited.
Was there ever like an experience in a class where the light switched or something and you were like, this is the way I gotta go, like I'm gonna use this, to help?
Yeah, I was in like it was a songwriting production type class where you had to like write 2 songs a week and present it to a class of like other students, peers. And it would be like, you would get like 2 different topics a week. So like write a song about this, or like write a song with this chord progression, like very specific prompts. And that class was like so hard for me at first, because I was like so hyper aware. You're like showing it to the class, like you have 1 week to write and produce like 2 songs. And I took that class twice, but I think like I just remember a lot of moments from that class of like showing the class something and like being super, super insecure, and then like seeing everyone else's reaction being like the complete opposite. Like, or like you get feedback too after you show it. So it's like when someone says something that you're like, wow, that's exactly what I was trying to like execute. Like I think about those moments a lot in that class.
Do you try to replicate that system at all when you're writing now? Like, is there a core group of people that you're sending?
Yeah, I would say I feel like I try to like make it a balance of like my non-musician friends and musician friends, because I feel like when you're a musician you can be so like nitpicky, and like there are certain things that like most people just won't hear or like notice. So I feel like I need my non-musician friends to kind of ground me, or like also like people who don't listen to music also have like really great perspectives. Like I've showed friends who like know nothing about music some music, and like they tell me a critique that like completely like makes the song what it is. So yeah, I think it depends on the song too. Like I feel like I know who would be more receptive or helpful for what thing, but yeah.
I guess also trying to determine like what is success for you at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a way in which you value that, or has that changed over time?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, especially like post-COVID, I feel like everything is oversaturated, and then like on top of that, just like the economy, whatever,
Yeah.
the state of the world, yes. But
Trying to make a decent living doing what you love,
you know, yeah. So I think redefining what success looks like I think success to me 5 years ago looks very different than what it is now, and I think I'm still trying to condition myself to like think of success in less like tangible things, like physical things, and more so like the fact that I'm able to like make music and like have family that supports me, and like, you know, have these next few years to kind of like give it my all. Like that's where I'm like leaning towards these days. Like that's what success looks like. Yeah, and like counting, you saw like the small wins, like, you know, like I graduated college a year ago, and like, you know, way before that, I remember our phase, like when I was applying to college, and that's like all I thought of. Like, oh my God, I just want to get to college, and then you're in college and you're like, oh, I just gotta get famous. Yeah. And then you're like out of college and you're like, oh my God. So it's like, you know, learning that like to celebrate is like big.
Has there been tips, tricks? Like, what do you go to say, I gotta kind of be an influencer now?
Oh my God. I think doing it in the way that's like most authentic to you. Like, I think I'm still learning how to do that. And me and my friend who just recently became my manager, we're like trying things out together. We're like working on kind of a way to like do that very like authentically, and like, you know, like I don't want to sit there and be like, hey guys, get ready with me. But, you know, maybe I'm in the studio and I'm like, hey guys, like build a beat with me. You know, like things that feel like make sense with what you're doing. Like asking yourself, like, how do you want to be perceived? Like, are you going to be, you know, there's like, what is your archetype? What is your niche? Like, I think that's something that I learned a lot in school too, is like thinking of yourself as like, for lack of better words, like a business. Like, okay, so what is your archetype? Are you the singer, songwriter, cutesy pop girl who like shows you her outfits and like makes video? Are you gonna be the really cool DJ producer who's in her room? You know, like what are like, it's corny, but it's true. Like, so you have to review yourself in like very like objective, just archetypes like that.
You seem like the really cool DJ producer, so.
Hopefully, is that
so what is the, is that it? Is that the archetype that you're going for?
I mean, well, I do know how to DJ, but I wouldn't say I'm a DJ. I wouldn't do that. I'm not gonna do the Charlie XCX thing. I don't. Yeah, I would say like the more like singer, songwriter, producer, archetype, like musician. Like I'll probably like not show you my makeup, but like I'll show you like my session, you know? Like it's like, I think, but there's nothing wrong with either. That's the point.
For sure.
I think that it's like
just true to you.
Just knowing who you are. Like there's so many artists that do both too. Like you know, yeah.
Lo que yo sueño, yo lo consigo. No me preocupo por lo que es mío. No tengo enemigos, yo no maldigo. Lo que yo sueño, yo lo consigo. No me preocupo por lo que es mío. No tengo enemigos, yo no maldigo. Lo que yo sueño, yo lo consigo. No me preocupo por lo que es mío. No tengo enemigos, yo no maldigo. Lo que yo sueño, yo lo consigo. No me preocupo por lo que es mío. No tengo enemigos, yo no maldigo.
What is more, not so much relieving, but what makes you feel more joy? Is it like that release of like getting a ton of people to look at some photo or video of the album that you just released, the EP or like a single? Or is it kind of like when you get traction off of specific kind of more like in your life content?
I mean, for me, like, it's cliche, I just like don't care about like, you know, like I know why I'm doing this. I think a big, like I mentioned, like a big thing is representation. So like for me, like it's getting DMs from like people who like look like me or like have similar backgrounds, like feeling like seen. Like I think that's like my biggest, like what I like love the most is hearing that people feel like they see themselves in my music, or like if I'm like playing a show and people come up to me after and like we get to talk one-on-one, and like knowing, putting a face and like a mind to like the people who listen is like really important. So it's like the real life kind of like testimonies, I feel like is what fuels me.
Damn, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Has there been like a specific person like or DM that you're thinking of?
Yeah, that just made you kind of.
I recently played a show, and the person who was there came for the headliner. I was opening for them, and they came up to me after, and we talked for like 10 minutes. She was like super sweet and like just really telling me just like the specific ways in which she felt seen, which is really nice. Like she was like, like I felt like she was listening to the music, which is like, as an opener, like it's like tricky because you know that the people aren't there for you, so you know that like, you know, 9 times out of 10, like you don't know if you're gonna be received well, and like feeling like they still left that like thinking of my performance, like even after they went like for, you know, the artist they went for was like really super, like that was super sweet. I was like, oh. Yeah.
Do you feel like that's a lot of what do you feel is a good achievable development for you right now? Like getting out, performing live? Do you just want to stay in the studio and continue releasing as much as you possibly can?
I would say live. Just like, I think live music is where I thrive. Like my favorite part of all of this is performing. Like I would say like it's making music, I love it, but it's more labor for me. It's like a lot of emotional labor. It's a lot of like just a lot. And I like performing is like the part where I like, that's my favorite part. And like connecting with people more than ever, I feel like with live music right now is like really hard to do because artists are not going live, they're performing live, and then like, you know, being an indie artist and like being a smaller artist, it's harder to get out there live. So the opportunities that you do get, it's like you have to cherish them. So I think that's where I'm like really focused on right now. Like,
so where do you find those opportunities? Is there someone that's coming up to you? Or are you finding them online through friends, connections?
It's like different every time. Like all my friends are musicians, so we always like open for each other. We always are on each other's bills, and like I always book my own shows and opportunities to come up to open for people. It's really different every time. Yeah.
So how's that self-representation? Like, do you spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to book, where to book, who to go to?
I think that's the type of thing that you like have to nurture over time. Like I've been able to build a really strong community and like network since high school because I've been, you know, in music schools and stuff. And when you spend years kind of like naturally cultivating that, it just like comes easily. So like I don't have to kind of like look for shows. It just kind of comes very easily just because I'm surrounded by a lot of people that do that. So that's something I would say that's like really important as like an artist, small artist, whatever, to do is like focus on cultivating like natural relationships, because that's where all, like most if not all your opportunities are going to come from.
But I think waiting organically and kind of creating who you are, finding your voice, finding your following, finding your audience is very powerful too, because it is about having that leverage. And once you have that leverage, you can do whatever you originally wanted to do or what your dream was, because you'll be able to utilize your network, utilize your audience, utilize your voice that's been created. But it's just about getting there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's very difficult, especially when you're hitting all the roadblocks.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, I agree.
So you have this EP, these two beautiful songs. Can you talk to us a little bit more about each of them and how the development was?
Yeah. So I did Camisa Blanca first, and that one I was listening to a lot of like Brazilian funk in that era. Like I like the idea of like the same way that like reggaeton has been kind of like globalized. Like I feel like now it's not just Latin artists that like can have like reggaeton beat. I like the idea of like playing with like the foundation of like a Brazilian funk. I feel like it's becoming mainstream now too. That type of music. So I wanted to take like the structures of a Brazilian funk, but like kind of make it sound like something completely different at the same time. And I made that one with my friend Itai, and yeah, that was fun. That was like one of the first songs that we like kind of started for the project, and it was a complete like 360 from everything I was doing before then. So I'm really proud of that one. Like I feel like it was like mission success. Success.
And where do you find your education nowadays? Like, where do you get that learning experience?
After, now that I'm not in school, you have to be more intentional with your time and like where you're getting your inspiration. So like I've been going to a lot more concerts and like being more intentional about like the music discovery. So like I'm like trying to like just source out like a lot of new music. And I think that's where a lot of my education is nowadays.
So we talked about one song.
Yes. So your second song.
Oh,
what
yes.
about the other?
The other one. That one was the last song that I wrote for the project. I wrote it last summer, and it feels like everything that I was doing except like the grown version, adult version of like it felt very natural. Like it was just kind of like everything that I had been doing the past 3 years, except like in the most like natural way possible. Like the whole project, I really wanted to like play with a lot of like vocal processing and like different textures in that way. So like, yeah, I don't know. That one was really fun, and it was a last minute ad. I was not gonna like put it in, and then I was like, I'm gonna.